Welcome to our home buyer seminar. It's Wednesday afternoon. We do this every week, about 5 o'clock, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. I'm Bill Gross, along with my colleague and friend,
Patricia Castillo.
or Patricia Castillo, if you're a gringo like me. And so we get together every week and talk about real estate, helping you buy your first house, helping you buy your next house. And we're here to help you. So, Patricia, I don't know. Interest rates went up. Is that a big deal? Should we freak out over it?
Absolutely not. I mean, interest rates did just inch up over 7%.
Yeah.
But if we think about this, has been really like a roller coaster, right? With interest rates, when we think about where we were at last year and how many times the interest rates kept increasing.
Yep.
So, if we think about it, it's something that we've all been paying attention to because we know that interest rates were increased at least 11 different times last year. And we've all been waiting for the rates to trickle down because that's what the reports were saying. As far as inflation coming down, interest rates should follow as well. But interest rates took the elevator going up when they were increasing, and now they're taking the stairs coming down, right? So they're coming down slowly, and so that's where we're at today, just a little over 7%, which is not too scary in my opinion.
Well, no, and it's just barely over. And I think the thing is, it's still below where it was for a good chunk of last year when we sold a bunch of houses, and people who bought those houses, at least in most areas like Los Angeles,
Right.
values went up. Now, it's not true everywhere. There's headlines of certain areas that got oversaturated, but generally in America, housing prices today are higher than last year by 3 to 5%. That means anybody who bought 6 months ago, it's gone up 1 to 2.5% on the valuation. And so those interest rate changes, but these rates are still below where they were for a good chunk of last year, almost maybe the majority of last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still an excellent time to buy right now.
Yeah.
I opened 2 escrows this week,
Oh
and
my gosh, say that again. I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that? Hold on.
I
What
know
was that?
I opened 2 escrows this week.
Sheesh, you're
So
in fuego, lady.
that just, goes to show there's still a lot of buyers out there looking for the deals, getting properties into escrow. And we always talk about being prepared. So that's one of the things that I like to mention on this call that we do is when the news is going to talk about interest rates going high and increasing again, a lot of buyers will end up taking a step back until they start hearing different reports.
Yeah.
But that's a good time for the buyers that are really serious to stay on track and
Yes.
keep moving forward, right? If you're working on credit repair, if you're working on getting your documents submitted to a lender, by all means, keep doing that. Don't stumble yourself because you hear of the news with interest rates coming up. The rates are going to fluctuate just a little bit. Overall, I think rates will start to come down just a little bit this year, but in the meantime, stay the course and keep moving forward with that goal of homeownership.
You heard it here. Patricia Castillo predicts interest rates to drop this year.
That's right. Without Gustavo here to change anything.
Well, Gustavo is someone who's supposed to be lowering the interest rates, and he's not here today, so that's probably why rates jumped up a little bit.
Yeah,
We'll get back to work tomorrow. Hopefully, he can bring it back down again for us.
he'll get back to work. So,
But that's all funny. But the truth is, you open 2 escrows. I bought a property. It's been a couple weeks now. I think 2 3 weeks. An investment property at $915,000. And I'd like to buy more, but there's not a lot for sale. And so, as long as that's the case, prices can't go down. They can
right.
probably only go up. And so, this is a good time to be looking for stuff. This is not time. This is when money's made. Is when other people are scared off unreasonably. But if the numbers make sense for you as an investor or you as a homeowner, great opportunity to buy.
Yeah, I mean, I closed on a single family escrow in December. My clients are now, that was a rehab project. It was a fix and flip. So now they're getting ready to list that property. I would say a couple more weeks. And, they're going to make a significant chunk of change on that one as far as their investment goes. So this is really a good time to look at the deals. There are plenty of opportunities like, the pre-foreclosures. There's quite a few of those on the market in different counties. So if you're looking like San Bernardino, Riverside, even Los Angeles, there are those pre-foreclosures that are available. Those are really great to work with and negotiate with because they do have an urgency to sell. And so that's one of the properties that I opened escrow on this week was a pre-foreclosure.
Look
And
at you.
you just got to look for the deals. They're out there, but
They're out there.
you have to search for them and you'll find them. Those are great to, negotiate with, great terms, good price, and a quick close. So,
I had an investor who went to a probate court confirmation sale. Now, those are kind of specialized, and it's not really the purpose of this call to go into all the detail. But what I will say is that a buyer had gone into escrow at an auction and it bought a property for, I want to say, 510. And when it went to court, there were 3 different buyers who showed up, mine being one of them, who bid the property. And my buyer was one to go to 640, but sold for 680, and probably would have gone in the 700s if the other buyer had bid up. But so from 510 to 680, and there are 2 other buyers who walked away frustrated they didn't get it. So there's definitely opportunities, and there's also demand there for properties, and
right.
it just requires sharpening your pencil and doing your work.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in a low inventory market. That's why prices are holding
Yeah.
steady where they're at. We're in the
Yeah.
Los Angeles County market. So there's a lot of different neighborhoods here that do hold their value. And those are the places that people want to live in, right? So we have
Right.
so many things here in Los Angeles as far as banks, businesses, colleges, arts, museums. There's just so many things to do here. And that's why people want to be in Los Angeles. But there's always an opportunity.
Well, and even in, this is an interesting statistic, even in a market where California is the leading state of people moving out, even with that being true, the inventory is so tight it protects the values of the property to where home values are still going up and slightly higher than the rest of the country. And so imagine if, and of course we have great weather and we have a lot of reasons. I'm a native and I grew up here, so I get why people want to be here. But just understand, even in a market where Californians are leaving for whatever reason, the values are still going up.
They're still going up.
What
And
investment is that the case? Is that true about? That's crazy.
yeah, I mean, we still have a housing shortage.
Right.
During COVID, builders stopped building. They got really behind, stopped building. I mean, we don't have these large communities that are being built of tract homes, but there are all these smaller, communities that are being built, maybe, 15, 30 homes. We don't have these really huge complexes anymore because we just don't have the space for that. But
Right.
even those small projects were put on hold.
Right.
So now builders, have caught up. They're still catching up, but they also have great incentives right now for buyers. So even with sellers that are selling their property, you may get a really great deal with a brand new construction home. They offer great incentives right now for closing costs. They have their own in-house lenders, so they offer their own interest rates. And, like I said, it's really about staying on top of the market and seeing which opportunity is going to work best for the buyer and what their budget is.
There is opportunity, and there are people taking advantage of it and profiting from it. There are people who are not. I know the deal that I bought, I got under contract. It's funny. We talked to the seller, I want to say about 2 months ago, and we got under contract maybe 3 weeks ago. And we haven't yet cleared contingencies, but we're getting ready to. I think we're going to wait for some paperwork this week, but we'll be done this week or early next week. But the market in LA has only gotten a little tighter. I mean, I don't think the value of the property's gone down since we made the offer. If anything, even in a short period of time, there's less inventory. There's nothing in that price range to buy. So
Right.
I think, again, all that matters is your situation. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing or what you read in the news. And I have a podcast about that, or what Zillow says or Redfin says. What matters is, where do you want to live, or where do you want to invest, and what's the market doing there, and protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a case by case. one of the escrows that I opened this week was originally we were up against another offer that was a cash offer, and they were higher than our price that we offered.
Mm.
Now we did go slightly above the list price, but only about 6,000, nothing crazy. But our terms were really good, very competitive. Sometimes when you get the call that your offer was not accepted, it's not the end of the world. There's still opportunity, right? So the listing agent said, I'll keep your offer as backup position. And I said, great, we'd love to be in backup position. Something told me that there was something going on with that cash offer. Sometimes that happens where the offer is so good that it's like that saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Correct.
So this just happened on Monday, right? Day before yesterday. I get a call last night from the listing agent. He said, does your clients don't want this property because the other buyer's not performing? They haven't sent their money into escrow. So this is part of being prepared. Make sure you have your money in the bank account that you utilize. If it's your checking account, make sure the money's there and it's ready to be sent into escrow. Because this can happen. You can get canceled if you're not performing. So basically, fast forward from last night till today, the other buyer was canceled with the cash offer. My buyer has a loan, so we are getting financing and we're going through the full, contingencies for loan and appraisal. But we opened escrow today. And so buyers that are out there looking for property sometimes get the call that their offer was not accepted, but that doesn't mean that it could not turn around. I mean, you can, if you have an opportunity just to be in backup position, hold tight for a few days because you may get the call that your offer is actually going to be accepted.
You might, if you're good, if you're lucky, if you're Patricia Castillo or her client, it may happen, right? Miracles happen.
It happens. That's right. But always be prepared and, make sure your terms are really competitive.
And stay on top of it. I know we had a property where, we offered and the listing agent was kind of ignoring us. And then there was no listing. I contacted the attorney and now the property they're holding like a kind of a quiet attorney's office sale. Well, great. My buyer's fine with that. And they're trying to scare buyers off by requiring a cashier's check deposit. Well, it's made to the attorney who I can verify the legitimate. So my buyer's willing to do the extra work and hopefully there's less competition. So we'll see. But again, there's opportunities there, but you have to sharpen your pencil and roll up your sleeves and get to work and take smart risks, limit your losses, take some smart risks.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. So besides getting Gustavo to work hard on lowering interest rates this week, what do you see in the next week and what's your last words of encouragement for those who are out looking for property today?
My words of encouragement are keep your spending low, keep an eye on your spending. If you're getting a tax return, most homeowners, or not homeowners, but most people do get some kind of, if you're a W-2 employee, there's probably a refund you're going to get, even if it's a few thousand. Save that money. Try to put that money aside into your savings account. So, really work on, now we're past the holidays. A lot of people were using credit cards and things like that. Just really try to focus on paying down your debt and saving as much money as you can. Limit the Starbucks visits, take your lunch to work, cook more at home. Those types of activities will definitely help save money.
I make coffee at home every day. I work from my home office, have lunch at home, because, at the end of the day, by lowering our expenses, we have the opportunity to invest more money in property that generates income for us. So it gives a lifestyle one. So I think that's great. And it's funny, it's not really covered in the real estate news like it should be, that lowering your expenses, making more money, saving more money, creating room in your monthly budget will allow you to either buy a nicer house or allow you to make more investments. So that's great advice, Patricia. And let me amplify that. Fantastic.
That's
well,
right.
Okay, there you go. So again, we do this every Wednesday, usually at 5 o'clock, sometimes 4. And usually we have a third partner here in crime here, but he's off this week working on lowering those interest rates. So he kind of got hit from behind. And he's going to make it up for us. So Gustavo, get to work. And we hope to see you here next week with rates lower. If not, come on the call and blame Gustavo because it's really all his fault.
For the higher inflation.
higher inflation, everything. It's all his fault. Okay, Patricia, thank you. Great seeing you.
Thank you, Bill.
Those of you who watch this, I see on YouTube, we got some people and Facebook. Feel free to put questions or comments. See you guys soon and make today your best day ever. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye.